So it's the middle of the week, and your next D&D session just got called off again because somebody's sick from a certain stupid pandemic. And half your players do not want to go online, and you've read and or booksterbated to every book, because you have to booksterbate all the books. All the books. So what do? Well, luckily there's a channel on YouTube, or plenty of channels, to watch great D&D content, other than this one. Although keep watching us. Watch these other guys later. So for today, I thought I'd just go through all the people that I regularly watch. This is not an exhaustive list of everybody I might watch. This is just the people I subscribe to and watch on a regular basis and are still putting out videos. So first up is CritCrab. CritCrab's concept is pretty simple. He goes on to Reddit, finds D&D horror stories and some other fun stories D&D-wise, and basically reads them off with a little bit of flair and entertainment. Definitely good for hearing the horror stories from the games that you're glad you're not playing, and a few that would be kind of awesome to be in. Next up is the Dungeon Dudes. Couple Canadians. Their videos are complex, pretty deep, dives into D&D lore. Drier than white toast at times, but again, I come here for information, and they're very good at delivering information, not jokes or anything of excitement. Matthew fricking Colville. Probably one of my favorites in that he tends to talk fast and goes deep into storytelling and game design and all the odd things that I'm going to enjoy. Last upload, actually, and I'm looking at the page right now, was a series he dropped for 5 years and came back to, the history of D&D, one fighter at a time. He finally got the 3rd edition, and I'm enjoying it, and there's squeeze all over, and he's got this and MCDM, which is his secondary channel, and the name of his company, because he created this little book. And its subsequent follow-up, Kingdoms and Warfare, both of which I've backed on Kickstarter, so that's awesome. Speaking of channels that have had thrown out books that I've Kickstartered, speaking of channels who have produced books that I've Kickstartered and subsequently gotten, let's go with Out of the Box, which is from Nerdarchy. They started several years ago, and when they started, their content was there, but they had no script. They sat around a table. It was crap. I've been there, produced crap that bad before. They've improved immensely. Their jokes haven't. Their jokes are still absolutely terrible, but they are a great resource. They're great to watch. As you watch them and they get better and better and their production gets better, it is absolutely awesome to watch. Now, ProJared. This is not primarily a D&D channel, but is one of the first that I really got into watching, mainly because he was the person that introduced me to the concept of D&December. Somehow I had missed it. But he's got some gameplay throughs. I think he goes into even the D&D cartoon, which is endlessly awesome, except in terrible at the same time, and generally covers a lot of interesting D&D subjects. Definitely worth going and checking out. Puffin Forest. He tends to tell his own D&D stories and some other stories, but his is all animation. And it's kind of a quirky and weird animation style, and just kind of fun little stories, and gets weirder and weirder as you go along. I like it when I'm weirder and weirder as it goes along. Speaking of weird, there's Runesmith. Probably the funniest of the channels that I watch, because this dude ain't right. And I like that he ain't right. He also happens to be in the same group creating stuff as another guy I'll get to later, and I'll mention him when we get there. That's XP level 3. A lot of videos with questionable content. He's got some books out, too, that might be worth checking out. Taking 20. A little more of the interesting content. Kind of fits in with all the other ones. Has good, solid, short videos. And I think I've picked up a few of his content he's produced, mainly PDFs, so it's not like I can go, look at my book! There's no book because it's all PDF. I'd have to print it out. I'm not printing it out. The DM Lair. He's got some good around-the-table skits where he plays about 6 characters, which is always fun. Has some good, solid content otherwise. Generally a good watch to get some information and get your game on better. Tulok the Barbarian. Mainly, he does D&D character builds. I'm just looking, I see Vision, I see Ant-Man. I think he started all the way back with Iron Man. He's done, and yeah, those are strangely somehow that's all Marvel characters, but he's done various characters from all over the place. I don't think he's actually done any D&D characters because that's kind of redundant. But if you want to know how to build a character, chances are he's covered it, and apparently this month, D&December, he's going to do a new build every single day.
Joy.
Speaking of getting your game on better, that brings me to WebDM. They have nice long videos where they have discussions. They've got breakdowns of all the classes, play guides for the classes, and just all kinds of odd videos that go out there. So definitely a good solid watch. And that brings me to XP to level 3. Again, hangs out with the Runesmith a lot. Has a wizard that likes to cast Fireball a lot. And generally goes between some more serious videos and completely batshit crazy videos. I like them all. So that's the big list of who I watch. If you go down in the comments, I have linked to everybody's channel. I suggest checking every one of them out. They give me some ideas that I've never had for the game. And it's just a matter of the more you watch, the more you spend time doing this, the more you wish you were actually playing the damn game. So tomorrow I think I'm going to get a little more personal. We're going to get into my current characters. Specifically, we're going to 3-5 first for a character who has been through more than one campaign and is now becoming a recurring character and will do a lot of odd things because she's basically Deadpool. Seriously, she breaks the fourth wall. Seriously, what the fuck?